So, really quick explanation. So, I had to go put together a crib for Charlotte, but that's good the way the timing works out because I wanted to enter into new trades. But my existing trade's obviously doing exceptionally well. My most recent Litecoin trade finally broke out much more, so that's up 14% currently. Some of my trades that I shared in my last stream, which I actually shared publicly, so people who aren't even in the group should probably be able to make a ton on these trades if they just listen to my time travel skills. Up 40% on CHZ. RSR at this point is up. Well, it was up 50%. Now it's back down to like 40%, but still RSR is killing it. I said we were moving sideways. Eventually we're going to break out. Same thing applies to Sun. Sun has been moving sideways for quite a while. I said eventually we're going to break out. Where's that one? Sun. There you are. And we're finally starting to poke up again. So we had this symmetrical triangle, which just, if I redraw it, you'll see those trend lines kept continuing. Kind of turned more into a wedge, but finally breaking out on her. Everything is retracing a bit here. VTHO was a trade that I shared on my last stream publicly, and I said this is the best time to get in long term right here. It's about to break out. And then it did a 50% pump, came back down a bunch. You could have entered again, and now it's pumping again, and now it's up 60%. That's just for my newer entry. My original entry, which I shared with the group, obviously when I got in originally, at this point is up. I'm up 30x on VTHO right now. I'm at 30x profit on VTHO. It doesn't compare to Doge, where I made 100x, more than that. But with those longer term trades, I'm only putting in a few $100. Sometimes I'll put in up to like $1,000, but I didn't with Doge, unfortunately. So Doge was one of those smaller trades where I made several $1,000s on it, but I could have made $500,000 if I just put in more money. But obviously, when you get into long term, higher risk trades like that, where you need to leave your money in there and it could take 6 months or a year before you get that big return, in those cases you don't want to tie up that capital for such an extended period of time because you don't have it to day trade with, you don't have it to scalp with, you don't have it to put into other trades. So what I'll do is I'll make profits, and then I'll take some of those profits and put them into those longer term trades, and then I'll day trade and everything, but I accumulate those longer term positions over time. So I made a decent amount on some of these really big ones, but obviously, I'm not making millions of dollars because I don't have $20,000 worth of Doge before the pump. If I did, that would be worth $2 million right now. I wish I had that much of Doge when I got in at the beginning of the year. Okay, so anyway, these are my longer term trades and some of my short term trades, like 35% breakout on a link, and that was from my second entry. My first entry at this point at the top was up 42%. Now it's up like 34%. So doing really well on all my trades overall. I called this perfectly. I said on my last update, we're about to dump and come back down. So it's not the right time to enter trades, but it's not the right time to close trades because we're still going to go higher. We just need to correct first. We got that correction. Now we're pushing up. If you're looking for entries, I would wait a little bit. Now you can see we got the 4-hour model corrected perfectly, exactly like I predicted on the Stoch. We came back down. The last time we reset, we started that big leg up, right? So now we got this reset and we're starting to turn up, and you'll notice the same thing on a bunch of the alts, right, or a bunch of the majors. BTC turning up, Ethereum bottomed out on the 4-hour Stoch, starting to turn up a little bit earlier, and a bunch of the altcoins got down all the way to the bottom of that Stoch into that lower range, and now they're starting to turn up. So some of those are starting to pump now. The only reason why it's not the right time to get in just yet, all these Stochs turning up are extremely bullish, but if you're looking for the best entry, you want to get that surgical entry, the lowest possible price. You want to drop down to the next time frame, the hourly. Now if you look at the hourly, you'll see based on this Stoch, we're just starting a correction. We're just starting to turn down. You can see it happened exactly where my model predicts it. Right here at the top, the Stoch starts to come down. That's when you start to see that retrace on the price. If we retrace on Ethereum, for instance, to the 99 EMA on the top of the cloud, that would be a really good time to enter, depending on how low the Stoch gets. But as long as we retrace a little bit more. I don't know how far this retrace will be. So this could be one of those examples where it turns down, like over here, it dips down slightly and then continues back up. That can happen. So you have to pay attention. So I'm not just jumping into a bunch of trades right here. I'm going to wait and just kind of see what happens. I'm going to try to pay as close attention as I can. But I have to go build a crib for Charlotte, so hopefully I don't miss out. If you're afraid of missing out and you're busy as well and you want to just get in, you could enter trades now, but you're not getting the best possible entry because the price is almost certainly going to come down lower before it breaks out. And that applies to pretty much everything. If you spot anything in your watch list, like notice, look at the Stoch, how it's high and coming back down, right? It's turning down on the hourly model. When I scroll down my list, watch this. Almost everything. CHZ wasn't, but look, this one is, this one is, this one is, this one is. This one is. Almost everything, the Stoch is identical, right? Yeah. Some, like OGN and CHZ, are lower, but those aren't really accurate models because they're doing that zigzag thing where it goes back and forth, and you can't trust the Stoch model when it's like that. When it's making these big, full sweeping waves and then turning back down, you can trust it because that's a reliable, repeatable pattern. OMG is a good example where it looks like it's about to dip back down based on that, being overbought and being that high, that I wouldn't enter right now. I'd wait for it to dip. Almost everything looks like this. So either everything is going to break out any minute or it's going to retrace for a couple more hours and then break out. But overall, I expect this market to be extremely bullish the rest of the day once it gets a small dip in so we can reset the indicators a little bit. That's what I'm waiting for. So watch that. If you do spot anything that looks like the Stoch is all the way at the bottom and turning up, that's kind of the opposite of all the ones I've been... Look, everyone I'm scrolling down on my list is pretty much the same. If you find something that's the opposite, like Theta, for instance, is really low on the hourly Stoch. It's already broken up a bit here. It's already up 5% on this candle, so that makes it a little bit tougher to get in here. But that's sort of inverted. It's not trading with everything else. Everything else we just looked at is starting a correction, like XRP, right? Same thing. Everything I click on looks almost identical. And then you have Theta kind of standing out in the middle of nowhere, but doesn't look like that, but it already started pumping. So if you were to get into Theta here, it would probably be a better bet than anything else, but it's still risky because it's already pumped a little bit on this candle, so you're just buying in too high. If it was at the bottom of that candle and I noticed the Stoch was this low, I would have considered getting in, but at this point it's probably too late. So that's what you want to look for. I'm going to keep my eye on it, and I'll let you know when I decide to make some moves. All right, that's it for now.